I'm trying to not say like and so and
I've been
so
trying to
much.
edit them out. Hi, welcome to Books and Brunch. I'm Noelle.
I'm Amber.
And today, we aren't just talking about one book. We're talking about all the books that feel like fall.
Yes. Recommendations for books we've read that give that good fall spooky vibe. To kind of narrow it down, these are books about creepy houses, for lack of a better way to categorize them.
To help us stay on topic, which we struggle with, this is one way we're doing it. First category, creepy houses. What do you have?
We've actually already reviewed this book. Is Just Like Home by Sarah Gayy. And yep, it's this girl. She goes back home to take care of her mom, and there's some real weird stuff going on.
Weird stuff in her family's history and really weird stuff in the house.
There's a full episode on that book that we have done, so I won't get into it too much. The other one I had is Mexican Gothic by Silvia Moreno Garcia, and it's set in 1950s, and the main character is this socialite from Mexico City. She gets this kind of disturbing letters, and it's about her cousin who's living in the Mexican countryside, who's a newlywed and had just married this English man. The family wants her to go and try to help the cousin and maybe get her out of there, and she gets there and they just keep telling her the cousin doesn't feel well. It's like this huge Gothic house, and they don't let her ever see the cousin, and then some weird things start happening. Everyone in the family is really weird, except for they have a son who is kind of, I guess you could say, semi-romantic interest. He's the only one that's halfway normal, and so she's trying to figure out what's wrong with her cousin, what's going on with this house. She starts having these dreams. There's just this whole paranormal,
there's a preternatural explanation for the weirdness, for sure.
Yes. It's just beautiful in that it's in the 1950s, and it's got that, if you like the Gothic houses and the description, it has all of that. I really liked this book. So this one is not on topic, but it's the same author. I went and bought this one because I liked her so much. It is the daughter of Dr. Moreau. She kind of did a spin-off about Dr. Moreau's daughter.
I like when people take a story and they do a retelling through a previously silenced character, like the woman who wrote the story of the Odyssey, but from Penelope, the wife's perspective. That's one of my favorite revisionist history type of novel. So for my haunted houses, I don't have The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson with me on hand because, as I told you, all my favorite books I lend. But that book and We Have Always Lived in the Castle by Shirley Jackson, those two are October staples.
And you said that The Haunting of Hill House isn't the same as The Haunting of Hill House on Netflix.
Not the same at all. Now, in the 90s, they made a movie called The Haunting, and that is actually closer to the premise of Shirley Jackson's Haunting of Hill House than the TV show. The TV show just kind of took it and ran, but it's great. I still love that TV show. So House of Leaves, anyone who's listened to us knows that I'm obsessed with. This book is not really necessarily a haunted house. It's multiple narratives, but this central story revolves around these tapes that this man found and dedicated his whole life up until he died to studying these tapes. The tapes are of this family who moves into this house, and they find that the house has non-Euclidean geometry. The measurements of the inside of the house are larger than the outside of the house. There's one day they wake up and there's a door leading to this hallway that wasn't there the day before. The house is bizarre, and the husband, the patriarch of this family, decides to put together an expedition to go down one of these mysterious hallways that seems to drop off into oblivion, like the gate to hell. They have no idea where it goes. It's just a never-ending staircase. He puts together this expedition team. They go to videotape it all to see where it leads. And then it's the story of not only that expedition, but the aftermath of what happens to his wife and children who don't go on the expedition, but who are left behind in the house. the man who finds the tape and makes it his life obsession to study those tapes, and then the story of this crazy, cracked out tattoo artist who finds the dead man's writings about the tapes and becomes obsessed with it. So it's fabulous, though.
Show the pages of it for those of you watching on YouTube. If you're listening, we do have a YouTube channel.
Yes.
You can see.
You get weird redacted things from when he's studying the works of this man named Zampano. Zampano loses his mind and starts Xing out stuff. Some of his papers get burned, and so there's holes in them. You've got strange symbols.
I might buy that for my daughter for Christmas because I think she would like that. And so I think this would be a good one.
It's so fun because you've got these fragments of things that are found in Zampano's apartment, which Johnny Truant is the tattoo artist. He goes into the house after his neighbor dies. He never knew him, but when he finds stuff like this in the house, he becomes obsessed with his life's work.
Have you been to Meow Wolf?
Yeah. I brewed the beer for Meow Wolf. I brewed their beer when they were there for their grand opening.
Well, that's what this reminds me of, because you go in this house, but there's like all this
the House of Eternal
weird
Return.
Stuff.
I felt when I first felt very much that someone read that book and was drawing on it.
Maybe, yeah. So I'll do this one next, The Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo, because it also has a house in it that's like alive, but that's not the main plot. It's more like a character in the book. And so we'll get into this one on the next episode.
Books and Brunch with Amber and Noelle.